Now, as you're watching this most comprehensive listicle, which we call the Bharat Progress Report on NewsX, 101 milestones to a new India, we are now in category number 6 of this Ready Reckoner compendium, which you should know and should pass on to everybody in the world of what India has been up to in the calendar year 2025. High tech, point number 57 on our list, India's total smartphone exports, which is the phones that are made and assembled in India, went up by a staggering 43% to a total value of $18.7 billion, which means India exported $18.7 billion worth of these smartphones to everywhere in the world, including the United States of America and Europe. Point number 58, the Indian Space Research Organization. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this LM-3 rocket, which recently happened at the end of 2025, put an American satellite, the Bluebird Block 2, into orbit. So, an American satellite bought the launching rights from the Indian Space Research Organization to launch this satellite. Milestone achievements in the commercialization of India's space program in the terms of revenue generation in 2025. Big ticket item. Point number 59 on your screens also relates to ISRO. Space docking, a major milestone required for the Gaganyaan mission, well, successfully conducted its first ever space docking experiment. So, well done to ISRO. And that takes us to point number 60, where India commissioned its latest multi-role stealth frigates. They are called the INS Udaygiri and the INS Himgiri. So, the Indian Navy also getting a boost in 2025. And that takes us to point number 61, that relates to the National Quantum Mission, which is now rolling out at a total approved budget of 6,000 crore rupees. That's nearly $1 billion, ladies and gentlemen, is being invested to develop quantum computing and allied technologies, lasers and other things in India. Massive investment going on to the front line of R&D and science. Point number 62 takes us back to the Indian Space Research Organization, because ISRO marked its 100th rocket launch with that, the GSLV F-15. 100th successful launch of the Indian Space Research Organization took place in 2025. And that takes us to point number 63. The AIRAWAT AI, AIRAWAT, which is an AI supercomputer. So, India has this supercomputer. It has now broken into the top 50 global rankings. Of the top 50 most powerful supercomputers in the world, finally, there is an Indian supercomputer that qualifies. Some ways to go in our supercomputing capacity, but you can clearly see now we are getting there as well. Point number 64 comes back to ISRO. Something to be proud of. Well, ISRO handed over its first indigenous 32-bit space grade microprocessors. There is a special category of microprocessors which are being made in India that are developed for the extremes of space, where there is a lot of radiation, there is a lot of extreme temperatures, cold and hot. Well, these 32-bit space grade microprocessors are being made, designed right here in India by ISRO. Point number 65 on your screens. India delivered the second batch of BrahMos missiles to the Philippines. BrahMos, jointly developed by India and Russia, made here in India, providing security for the defense of the Philippines and earning defense foreign exchange in a high-tech cruise missile format for India. Point number 66 on your screens. Coming back to ISRO and its successful completion of a re-entry test. So far, we have been launching rockets. If you want to have a manned mission, it has to be able to bring people back down to Earth. So, you require a re-entry test successfully completed for Gaganyaan by ISRO in 2025.